about just one turnover for Minnesota, Michael?
The Minnesota Timberwolves are currently having their best season in the past 20 years, and all thanks to one of the best guards in the NBA, Anthony Edwards. And while Ants is putting the Wolves on the map, he seems to have now attracted one of the best guards in NBA history. Join me as I walk you through how Stephen Curry and Anthony Edwards are officially about to be teammates. Change in perception. "14 years as Warriors, and no one can argue that Steph Curry isn't the greatest Golden State Warriors player ever. 4 championships and several accolades later, he doesn't appear to be slowing down. Unfortunately, while he is still the top player we've all known him to be, the Golden State Warriors are no longer what they used to be. It's been 2 seasons since Steph Curry and the Warriors won their 4th championship, and while for many teams in NBA history, winning a championship does not signal a decline, the Warriors are currently competing for a spot in the play-in tournament with no hope of improving next season. In the 2022-2023 NBA season, the Western Conference team finished 6th in the conference and was unable to defend their title despite Steph Curry recording his best playoff stats ever. The future Hall of Famer averaged 30.5 points on 46.6% shooting, 5.2 rebounds, and 6.1 assists per game. Now fast forward to the current season, and Curry is doing the same carry job at 35 years old. So far this season, Curry has played 71 games, the most he has played in 8 years, and he is averaging 26.5 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, and yet the Warriors are 10th in the Western Conference, about to miss the playoffs. Before the recent loss to the Dallas Mavericks, a game in which Curry had 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists, the point guard led the Warriors to 6 consecutive wins to keep the Houston Rockets far from stealing their play-in spot. For what it's worth, when Curry said this in 2022,
"Honestly, I don't want to leave ever. I want this to be, my one and only home." And
he definitely didn't imagine that the Warriors team would be what it is now, that Klay Thompson would decline badly, that Draymond Green's antics would only get worse, that the most expensive roster this season would be plagued with injury, that there still wouldn't be a confirmed starting lineup, or that a 5th championship with the Dubs may no longer be in the cards. Interestingly, the Warriors front office has made it known that aside from Steph Curry, no other player on the roster is untouchable, and now it appears that the only untouchable player on the roster could now be looking to drop his $215 million contract with the Warriors, which expires in 2026, and move on to a more promising team in the Western Conference. What team could this possibly be? Trade rumors. For quite some time, there have been trade rumors suggesting that the Golden State Warriors are looking to trade for Karl Anthony Towns. Cat getting traded in the 2024 offseason was confirmed by an NBA executive who said, "I think it happens this summer. How much tax are they going to pay when Anthony Edwards' extension kicks in and Cat's extension jumps?" The 4-time All-Star, 4-year, $224 million contract extension kicks in next season, and even though he has been impressive this season, averaging 22.1 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, while shooting 50.6% from the floor and 42.3% from the deep, he is no longer the team's most important player. And with his extension about to kick in and make the roster expensive, if the Timberwolves don't make a deep playoff run this season, they may need to clear some cap. The Timberwolves were the 8th seed in the Western Conference with a 42-40 record when they lost to the Denver Nuggets in the first round of the NBA playoffs. This season, however, they are the conference's 2nd seed, and many NBA fans predict they could reach the conference finals for the first time in 20 years. In any case, while the trade rumor was initially believed to break the Warriors' core, leaving only Steph Curry, it now seems the 2022 Finals MVP could be looking to move to the Timberwolves and make history. In a conversation with Martin Weiss, NBA analyst Chris Broussard asked whether Steph Curry would leave the Warriors to chase another title. According to Weiss, he would like to see the point guard retire as a Warrior even if his championship-winning days are over. But unfortunately, Steph's championship days aren't over. He is still putting up all-star numbers. But according to Weiss, he has more chance of winning another ring with the Wolves than with the Warriors at the moment. A chance to play with a team that is young, in the top half of the West, got another star next to him like Anthony Edwards, is something Steph could be looking for at age 35. NBA analyst Chris Broussard also weighed in, suggesting that Steph Curry's move is going to happen entirely based on his contribution to the team. If he's just kind of a role player, averaging 14 points a game, and it's Edwards and Cat carrying him, he's just doing his little bit. That's different. That, to me, is not worth it. But if he were to go to Minnesota, give him 25 points a night, and Anthony Edwards is giving him 24, 26, then that's a whole different story, Broussard said. Anyway, all of these are still very much hypothetical. But what does a partnership with Steph Curry mean for Anthony Edwards? Is he open to it? A dream partnership. Truth be told, not much is known about Steph Curry's opinion about joining the Wolves. We are talking about a team that drafted 2 point guards before Curry in the 2009 NBA draft.
With the 5th pick in the 2009 NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Ricky Rubio, El Masnou, Spain, and Juve. With the 6th pick in the 2009 NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Johnny Flynn from Syracuse University. 7th pick in the 2009 NBA draft, the Golden State Warriors select Stephen Curry from Davidson College.
Anyway, while Steph might not be a fan of the Wolves for skipping him 14 years ago, he is actually a big fan of Wolves guard Anthony Edwards, and Ants has always adored Steph. Their relationship goes back to 2018, when the 2022 NBA Finals MVP held a basketball camp where he invited some of the most talented high school players to enhance their skills. Ants was 17 at the time, and not only did he attend, but was also the player Steph saw the most potential in during the camp. When asked which player at the 2018 camp had the best chance to be a future NBA star, Steph Curry said, Anthony Edwards, for sure. He just had a different demeanor and different competitive presence out there on the court during our camp sessions and even in the showcase game that we had. There were just plays that he made that nobody else really could. So I think that most people who watched that year would have had a lot of confidence in the fact that he'd be who he wanted to be. In any case, Anthony Edwards has since made it to the NBA, where he is 5-5 in head-to-head games against Steph. But far from his head-to-head against Steph, the ceiling of this guard is superstar level, and the Timberwolves are rightfully building around the 22-year-old. Anthony Edwards is leading the Wolves roster in minutes, points, and steals, with assists per game second only to Mike Conley and defensive win share second only to Rudy Gobert. He is averaging 25.9 points, 5.6 rebounds, 5.1 assists, and 1.3 steals per game. And with 5 games left to play, Anthony Edwards has led the Wolves to their best record since the 2003-2004 season. So it is no surprise that he is getting compared to Michael Jordan.
Heart, listen to what I'm saying to you on national television. Right now, when I see Anthony Edwards, I see in the making Vince Carter, Kobe Bryant, MJ, Michael Jordan.
With Anthony Edwards, he got a motor. I'm gonna put my bread on young fella. He like a young 84 Jordan, boy. You hear me?
You're going too far.
Listen, Lord, you not watching.
And what do you sort of think is next for him?
Man, I know if I say this, man, I know y'all go in the world go look at me like I'm crazy and I go put all that pressure on that kid. But man, I told him, man, you got a chance, brother, to be Michael Jordan, brother. You really do. You really do.
It is hard not to see a young Michael Jordan in this guard when he does something like this.
Watch the left hand. Oh, he pokes him right there in the eye.
Anyway, a partnership between Steph Curry and an explosive guard like Anthony Edwards to space the floor alongside him is an unstoppable offensive combination that will definitely land a championship. However, all of these are quite hypothetical for a guard who plans to be a one-team player like Kobe and Tim Duncan. So, can the Golden State Warriors make this deal? Is it possible in the near future? Will the Golden State Warriors do the deal? Going from being a dynasty for a decade to struggling to qualify for a play-in tournament is an unfortunate decline that neither the Warriors' front office nor Steph Curry could have predicted. And that is not a good look for what is the most expensive roster in NBA history. Just last season, the team paid roughly $350 million in combined player salaries and luxury taxes, and that is projected to be higher this season. Nonetheless, the Warriors' front office is looking to free their budget cap and to rebuild, and in doing that, they need their star guard, Klay Thompson, to take a pay cut or leave as a free agent. Aside from that, they still have other aging stars like Draymond Green and Chris Paul on their payroll, which could prove difficult for their rebuilding plan. In any case, the most expensive contract on their payroll is Steph Curry's, which expires in 2026. But with the 36-year-old guard still putting up all-star numbers, it seems reasonable to keep him. However, he is not getting any younger, and his core players, such as Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, are no longer who they once were. So, in summary, the Warriors' future remains in the hands of their aging star. So, will the front office turn into the Chicago Bulls front office after the 1998 NBA Finals and disassemble their aged star lineup? Or will they stick with them until retirement? Whatever they plan to do, Steph Curry should definitely land with a young and competitive team like the Timberwolves. He surely deserves a 5th ring. In any case, some NBA fans have weighed in on this hypothetical partnership. One user commented, "All of this boils down to if Steph Curry is ready to move to the Wolves that passed him twice on draft night." Another user commented, "Steph and Anthony Edwards are a scary duo though." Anyway, we can only hope to see these guards team up someday. If you enjoyed this video, the next video on your screen is worth your time.